Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Should You Play, the series where I talk about video games from the perspective of a busy lifestyle. Personally, I have a full-time job, a family, and little time to play video games, so I stay up late at night and sacrifice sleep to get my gaming sessions in. The questions I have for you today are Stellar Blade. Is it worth your time, and should you play it? First, Stellar Blade takes place in a distant, kind of post-apocalyptic future. Earth has been ruined by a monstrous alien race known as the Natibas. Because the humans lost the war, the survivors have fled to a high-tech colony in outer space. You play as Eve, an elite super soldier sent back down to Earth with a clear-cut mission to defeat the monsters and reclaim the planet for humanity. Along the way, Eve teams up with a scavenger named Adam and an engineer named Lily, eventually discovering Zion, the very last surviving human city. No, this isn't the Matrix. But as Eve hunts down the leader of the monsters, she uncovers massive secrets about the past and realizes that her mission and her own identity is much more complicated than she was told. Dun dun dun! Alright, the positives of the game, what I liked about it. When it comes to some of the highlights, the best part of Stellar Blade, in my opinion, was the fast, fluid combat system. Now, the game blends flashy action with tight mechanics, and your perfect timing rewards you, right? Your dodges and parrying enemy attacks. The boss fights are actually very fun. There's an exciting challenge that kind of go with it. You know, these huge and creative creatures that are terrifying yet grotesque and all of these things. And the boss battles are really an enjoyment, even though they can be frustrating sometimes. It is fun to fight them. On top of that, the game is a visual masterpiece with gorgeous graphics, beautiful character designs, excellent environmental details. Exploration is fun and rewarding. You can search through ruins, find hidden upgrades, get dozens of unique outfits to change Eve's appearance. The entire experience is capped off with, I feel like, the musical soundtrack. I feel like the music just hits at every point in the game. Now, recently, I've played Sand Raiders of Sophie, and I feel like that music is just too much. Like, it's always high-octane music all the time. It's like in Stellar Blade, it's a mix. Sometimes it's slow, it gets ramped up during boss fights, gets mysterious and like corridors and things. So I feel like the musical soundtrack was actually really good in Stellar Blade. Now, the negatives, because it's not, not every game's perfect. And even though this game has a perfect shape, that perfect, story, that there are some negatives that go along with it. The action is great in the game, I was talking earlier, but the game's story and the characters themselves are kind of meh. It's like, I didn't really get invested in the story too much, right? The character acting isn't really the greatest. The plot becomes fairly predictable, kind of as the more you play. The writers really rely heavily on those long explanations of things, text logs, rather than just kind of naturally telling the story through actions and emotions, be able to explain the lore. The main characters don't really have a good, strong personality and emotion. The English voice acting is kind of wooden and stiff at times. Another issue with the game that I kind of felt as I was playing through it was the side content. Many of the side quests just became repetitive, fetch quests, and boring, right? Walking slowly backwards through things that we've already been through, or just a bunch of jump patterns, like one of those like only up, like you're trying to scale everything, jumping and swinging on things. Like I don't know. Just the side missions didn't really hit, so I only did a few of them and then just kind of moved on, right? Overall, for me in my playthrough, I hate Souls games. Okay, I appreciate Souls games, but what it really is my time limit in my life, right? Because I have a busy lifestyle, a full-time job, I have a family, I don't have hours upon hours to game. So I personally do not find enjoyment in you know, like the Elden Rings of the world, where you have to spend 25, 35, 45 encounters to finally beat the boss potentially, right? Taking 2, 3 hours to learn the moves and get good and finally beat the boss. Like, I don't care, right? I don't have that sense of accomplishment that's like, oh, I did this. Like, I don't have that FOMO. Okay. So one thing I like about Stellar Blade is it has a difficulty slider. Yes, that's right. I cheesed the difficulty in this game. I normally play every game on normal difficulty, right? Just a standard base difficulty. Well, whenever the boss became too much, or I had about 5 or 6 tries on the boss, I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'll bump the difficulty down, beat the boss, bump the difficulty back up, and move on with my day. I still enjoy the game. I still appreciate the game. But for me and my play style, I don't really care to do the get good strategy and beat the boss. Like, I play video games for fun. I play video games for entertainment. I want to be entertained, and I want to be entertained at my own pace. So if I don't want to spend 2 hours on the same boss, I'm just going to bump the difficulty down. Stellar Blade did that for me. So it's a big positive for me. But that being said, that's a little side tangent I went on. But overall, I will say that Stellar Blade grew on me, right? I didn't think I was going to like it at first. Obviously, it's visually appealing, if you know what I'm saying. But the combat, the level design, what you were doing, it became fun. It became entertaining and enjoying. And I actually enjoyed going around the world and finding the new bosses and finding the new areas and what comes next. Now, again, the voice acting was meh. The storyline was, it makes sense by the end, like, you know. But it was still enjoyable. And I'm definitely looking forward to Stellar Blade Blood Rain, the next one that comes out. And kind of see where the story takes it in the series, in the franchise. But rants aside, back to our original question. Should you play Stellar Blade? Now, the game is comprised of about 15 main missions. You do have over about 40 plus side and bulletin board combined missions that you can do. So there's a lot of side content if you want to just stay in the world and enjoy it a little bit more. The game will take you around 20-ish hours to beat if you just kind of hard grind the storyline. I beat it in around 30 hours. I did do a few of the side missions, a few of the outfit, you know, fetch quests, that's what it is. So I did a few of those. I kind of looked online for some of the, you know, the cool outfits, and I specifically went for those. But yeah, so I dabbled a little bit, nothing too crazy. On a busy schedule, you could play most of the game. Now, I will caution you because some of the boss fights and story moments do get rather lengthy. So if you got like 20, 30 minutes, you're going to be pushing it in some parts of the game. But you can always backtrack to save points. With everything that I've mentioned thus far in our review here, should you play it? Well, I'm going to give it a try at some point because the combat is fun. It's a Souls light, right? The scenery is definitely worth it. The story does grow on you by the end, as I was saying. The voice acting is blah, but I enjoyed my time. Now, these games might not be for everybody. The voice acting, the story, the JRPG-esque element, or the graphical things, like, it may not be for everybody, and that's totally fine. But I do think at some point, you got to experience it. Especially, like I said, when you can kind of lower the difficulty and make it your own and be able to actually beat the game on your own terms. Why not, right? So, like I said, try it at some point. But I want to hear from you guys what you think, what you have thought of the game, what you liked, what you didn't like about the game, what you liked and what you didn't like about my review. I appreciate you guys. Let me know if there's any other game that you're interested in checking out here on the channel. Again, thank you for watching. I hope you hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next one. I appreciate you.